Very similar actually, because it's the construction trade you're in, the roofing. So what we used to get is an inquiry would come through. Again, telephone call, it might be something through the website, it would come through, it'll be handled. As soon as it came through, what we would do, if it was a phone call that came through, we would then qualify that person very, very early on. We needed to make sure that this customer was the right customer and we weren't wasting our time. Because sometimes what we found was, we would have clients ring us and say, I'll use an example of damp, for example. We had a specialist company as well. And they would ring us and say, I've got damp. So originally in the beginning, people would go out and see the damp and it wasn't damp. And we'd send people out and do the quotations. And then we'd have people phone up and say, I need somebody to come and look at my damp. And we would not ask if they were the homeowner. So we'd go and it was actually a tenant's house and they didn't have the rights to have the work done. So we used to find that there was lots of wasted time that was going on. So we decided that we had to qualify. And that was done there and then on the phone. We would ask the questions. What does it look like? Are you the homeowner? Was the first question. You know, if they were able to allow us the authority to go in and do what we needed to do. And we'd then qualify whether this was the job that we were going to do or not. If it was something that was too small, we would actually encourage them to go somewhere else and we wouldn't pick it up because it wasn't worth our journey to travel there and do other things. So the qualifying process for us was really, really big. And each of you in your business should be qualifying your clients. You should be finding out, are these the right people that you want in front of you? Because if you're spending time, especially on this kind of model here, going to people's houses, travelling, spending an hour with them, to then find out after all of that resources and money's been used, oh, you're not even the right person for us. You can't even make a decision, it's not even your house. So qualifying is really important. If they qualified them, they were fine, we would go and carry out the survey there and then in the house. The survey would be very, very detailed, so they had all the information. We'd make sure that it was right. We could then get a really clear quotation on it. We would then evaluate. So what we would do, we'd bring it back, we'd evaluate the price, everything that needed to happen with it, if it was, you know, further afield, all of those things with the job. And then we'd negotiate. So this sometimes what we found was, we wouldn't always negotiate down on price. What we would do is we might kind of, in a way, sometimes cross-sell within the business, or we'd look and go, if they can't have that item, we can downsell or upsell to things. So we had some movement in what we were doing with the client, and we'd be quite flexible on their needs as well. And then if that was fine, we'd close a sale. Now a lot of the time we would close a sale there and then in the room, if it needed to be, and we'd take a deposit, or they would sign something and a deposit would be taken over the phone as well, so it was all done and dusted. Now this is where a normal funnel normally finishes. Sales done, that's it. But we don't want that, and you touched on it actually, because your next step here, well it's a little bit further on in mine, which we'll come to, was the follow-up side of it. If you look, these two top bits here are green. And this is like kind of, you know, your marketing brings these in, and at this point you're still qualifying whether this is your client or not. You know, you're not made a decision yet. And as they go through, this is when you're going through the sales process. You're letting them know about the benefits of the product. You're letting them know about how you can help them, how, you know, whether you are a right fit for one another as well, to go ahead. And then the next step here is normally it closes. And this is where people go, the job's done, it's finished. But that's what I call a leaky bucket. You don't want clients coming through and just drop. If you have a business that's constantly doing that, you're constantly looking for new clients and they're just going through like this. And you are leaving thousands upon thousands of pounds just literally sat on the table. And then spending money, go and finding more clients when you've got them already there. So what we used to do, we would ask for feedback after the job. And this for one was, one, to improve our own business, because we'd ask for feedback on all the areas of our business. We'd ask it from the telephone conversation with the admin, we'd ask it from the surveyor, what they thought of them from the job, and then at the very, very bottom of the form, what we would do is on there, we would also ask them if there was anything else in the future they would like to have done to their property. So what that did, if they ticked it, that would be stored, and then that would allow us later on to do the follow-up. Because after, we would then come back and go, oh, great, you said you needed a new kitchen. We can do this, we can do that. It opened up the whole sales pipeline again to that person. Now when we asked for feedback, there was the form that we used to do, but we used to also ask them to provide testimonials on their own Facebook page, because they know, like and trust, not just ours. Because if my friend puts something on and recommends it, and I see her page, I'm more likely to believe her testimonial on her own page then I probably wouldn't even see it on somebody's company's page. So we'd encourage that, and what we used to work upon was trying to create advocates in the business. Now, each of you should be creating advocates in your business, and what that is clients who have had an experience with you, they like what you do, and they are happy to share their experience to others. Now, you did it earlier, you said, if you do that, I'll give you a commission. And I was like, oh, well, you know? And that's the way you can do it. There's business models out there. What you want to create, if you're able to, in your model, create advocates, what you end up doing is creating lots and lots of mini sales reps for your business. People who have experienced it, know, like, and trust it, who go out there and spread the word. And you might give them an incentive. It might be a commission off something for a referral fee. And this is what we do in some of our businesses. If we have clients who have really enjoyed the experience, we actually reward them with monetary terms for commission. They're not lying, they're just spreading the word. And now if you think about it, what you pay for a lead, you might say, well, I'm paying commission on it. You usually would probably pay a lot more for the lead, and it's not as guaranteed either. So if you're able to look at that and think, right, somebody comes through, and now what happens is you capture them, you actually then, if they're an advocate, they then start bringing people right back in to the funnel. So then you get really a cycle that goes on. A lot of funnels just start and go through like that. And what we want to do is we want this whole marketing section to kind of come back again, where these things link in to the advocate, which then allows the advocate to do the marketing for you. Now, I know that lots of you will have clients, and we discussed on the back table, someone said, they already identified it, I don't follow up enough. And if you think about your business now, have a little think about how many clients you've got sat there and how much money might be sat on the table right now.